Hey folks, welcome to B5 Bricks. Hope you're all well. In today's video, it's an update on the Micro Gotham City build, and I've pretty much finished Midtown and it's looking pretty good. I had plenty of the light blue trans clear pieces, so I was able to complete the water. And I've added an additional 15 or so buildings to complete this part of the layout. Overall, Midtown isn't as dense as downtown, but it has notable buildings, and the idea is that Gotham is descending with lower scale buildings as we go further back to Uptown. I wasn't happy with how my Arkham Asylum building turned out, and it is meant to be on the Dark Tan Island section here, so I've left it off just now. And in fact, this island with Arkham on it will be just as large on the opposing side on the next base plate, and therefore I've got a lot more space to play with to get the building right and add more height to the landscape. I'm working on the next island now, and the main railway line is a big feature as it towers above what will be the Narrows on the other side. In total there will be 3 bridges here, and I'm using this fantastic map by William TR as a guide for my mock, and I'm trying to be as faithful as possible. So on Midtown, I've included Gotham University on the left, right next to the General Hospital, then following along the bottom right, you can see the green area with the Reservoir, remember that for later, and just north of that is Central Station, and then the Opera House is just next to that. Last time I had got to this point with downtown and Midtown having just had the roads put in place, but there was loads to do, especially the water and figuring out Chinatown in the top right, so I've been pretty busy getting this finished. So here we are, this is the neoclassical university building, which has these modern campus buildings around it near the water's edge. Then there's a built up area of commercial buildings, and you can see the reservoir there at the bottom right. This section is the Upper East Side, which is the wealthy district, which features Wayne Tower as a sort of centrepiece, and the black building there made using an X-wing nose. Then there's these grander older buildings flanking the railway station. Coming from this side behind the uni is Chinatown, and I really love this view of the city, and there's a sort of Times Square style area of the city here with all these commercial billboards. I love this section too under the railway with the sewers, and it looks great now that the water is in place finally, and even a ship. And you can see I've used some Ninjago and Nexo Knights printed tiles here. The buildings with the advertising signs on them are really quite basic, but they are purely built to show these tiles. I had to include the Joker Wanted poster, and this is meant to be an Avengers movie poster, which is a kind of joke for the DC Marvel rivalry. The other white tower has one of my favourite printed tiles on it, the Detective Comics one from the last DC collectible minifigures, and this is kind of an in-house joke as of course it features Batman on the cover, and this is Gotham City of course. Oh, and I just wanted to show you this building. I quite like this design, it's really simple and sometimes that's just perfect, and it's nice to use dark blue instead of grey and black all the time. But one of the key buildings for me to include was of course the modern Wayne Tower, and this tan building on the left is just that. It's a very tall, very monolithic looking Wayne Tower. And I was thinking back to the comics and those visuals of very dense, slender towers that create a very claustrophobic atmosphere, and also those buildings that are kind of set back in on themselves as they graduate higher, and thinking about New York with areas of real density and colour too. And actually this shot of the Empire State Building really influenced this. Of course it was built in the 30s and the new Wayne Tower is modern, but I've modelled it on the Empire State with its monolithic style, which has those inset sections as it rises up. I didn't want to include too much detail for the building and haven't given it individual floors or windows, and it's quite plain, yet in its surroundings of modern condos and white residential towers, I just think it works really well here. It's also the tallest building on this island, but yet it doesn't totally dominate. And that's partly due to its tan colour and lack of detail. However, in the comics and even the animated series, Wayne Tower is usually a glass-clad building. Even in the Nolan movies, I think it was as well. But I really wanted to steer clear of using up trans clear pieces as I need them for the water. So it's not 100% accurate in those terms, I suppose. Overall, this Midtown Island has a big mix of architectural styles with quite a few dark, slender towers in amongst low-density lighter colours, yet it's not overly colourful and still has that dense, oppressive feel that Gotham is supposed to invoke. And it's important as a character that Gotham is almost claustrophobic like that. I also wanted to include a few slightly less detailed buildings that are almost monolithic, and they are kind of fillers really, like this one, and that's because I want to draw attention to the key areas like Chinatown, Central Station and the University. And it also saves on the brick count and not using up more intricate and useful parts which I can use to add details to buildings that will be more seen. So hey, it's done and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I can't wait to have the third island underway, and I think once all three are connected, it's gonna look pretty spectacular and unique. In the next video in the Micro Gotham build, I will be on to the third island, which includes the Narrows, which I'm quite excited about. It's presented a real challenge to get that right, and the elevated railway too. And to the rear of that island is also the amusement pier, which features Jokerland and Harley's hideout, so it's quite a cool area to do. I'm really enjoying this build though, and I hope you agree that the results look half decent. Thanks so much for watching until the end. I'd love to know what you think of the project and leave me a thumbs up if you're enjoying the city progress. If you want to see more videos like this one, then subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss a thing, especially my videos of simple mocks, money saving tips and of course the Micro Gotham city build. And whilst you're here, why not check out some of my other videos too? And I'll catch you next time. Bye!